welcome to Blockleaders.io with me, Gillian Gossel. Today I am delighted to have as my guest on the show the artist Jon Noorlander, a Swede living in New York. Welcome to the show, Jon.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited, and so is everybody else, because you're the man that created those exploding heads. Oh my goodness! But before we get there, I'm getting too excited. Tell me just a little bit about your career, because you work in advertising and animation. So let's just get the background before we go to the exploding heads.
Yeah, I can do the quick rundown. I'm a Swede, as you mentioned. I grew up in Sweden, but my whole kind of professional life has been abroad, and I moved directly after university. I moved to London and spent 8 years in London in the advertising and design world. And then after that, we moved to LA, spent a few years in LA, and now I'm currently in New York City. I've been here for seven years now, nearly. So, yeah.
Almost a native.
Yeah, nearly. I don't think so. No, never.
Maybe not with the accent. I don't know.
No, exactly. Yeah. No.
So tell me now. So that's your where you've lived geographically. So how has your work changed? Because advertising is not like Mad Men, drawing pictures up on boards. Advertising and design has changed quite dramatically as a career. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think it's changed quite drastically. Like I think everything, back in the days, like budgets, everything was higher. And nowadays you have to do a lot more with a lot less when you when you work. So back early days, you had a sea of people for every job, and the budget was really high, and you could create a lot of good things. And also it was much more complex as well. It wasn't easy to do anything, especially my work is mainly in 3D. And back in the day, it was actually hard to make good looking 3D. And nowadays that has kind of been erased, and it's super easy to make something look good, but it's obviously not super easy to have a good idea. So you still need to have that, but you need to be a person of many traits, you need to be able to do many things just of one thing. So I'm seeing myself quite versatile of my tool set of what I can do. I can do projects from the very beginning, from the ideation state to kind of full on production to finish the job. So, and
I guess the tools that and your finished pieces of work, as I say, they're not static. You have some amazing. The software, I guess, is it? The animation, it's not. Can you explain to me just a little about the tools that you use to create these phenomenal
images? I work a lot with simulation, like computer simulations. So I don't necessarily decide every frame how it will look. I feed in certain values in in calculations, and then I let the computer kind of simulate and calculate, and I see the outcome. So there's a lot of things is kind of designed by accident kind of thing. Like you have to do it a few times until you find something. Oh, this looks good. But then again, you never know until you show the audience. But I feel like that's how I work with most of my jobs, especially on the art side versus my professional life. Like since I'm still maybe I didn't mention it before, I'm still working full time in the advertising world, but I also on this side do a lot of art projects.
And you were mentioning earlier that you come from quite an artistic background.
Yes, that's correct. My mum is actually a painter, like a traditional painter, and watercolor and oil. And my dad is an architect. So it's been with me all my life. And I actually wanted to become an architect when I was younger, like to follow my dad's footsteps. But then I actually found out about 3D animation and 3D design quite early on. And then I actually went to school to study computer graphics. It was called at that site.
And what you're doing now is just amazing. So as I started this at the beginning, I was so excited. You have these exploding heads, and people who are watching this video or reading the article I'm going to write about, who have not heard about you, they need to go and have a look at them because they are addictive.
Yes,
they're absolutely.
We call them disturbingly satisfying, right? That's disturbingly. That's going to be the title of this article. If you watch them and you have like these rubbery faces, and then they explode and things come out. And you also, if you put music to some of them you've got this horrible balloon type noises because like the things are balloon. Oh my goodness, it's quite frightening actually. Yeah. The thing is, it's all started with me kind of like figuring out like different technical aspects in the 3D software, and I found like a way of using that for my art. And I don't know where the exactly idea came from, but I knew it was something. It's been my kind of trademarked art piece now for the last couple of like it's been on for now a good year or so. I've been doing like multiple of these. I think I'm over 30 plus different types of this. I call them exploding head series, right? Since that most of them end up exploding or like bursting in, and I feed them different parts inside the body each time, and see how it goes.
Wow, no,
and they do track a lot of attention online, so I keep feeding the audience. They want more.
Because you were saying one of your images has received more than 50 million views.
Yeah, in combined views, the exploding head with the bananas have received over.
I'm not surprised.
It's over 50 million at the moment.
I've been responsible for about 10 of them.
That's good.
Keep on pushing again. Ooh.
Keep clicking.
It's funny, isn't it? So that's all. So that's your career, your new artistic endeavors, and it is art, and it's where technology meets art. But you were just saying to me before we started talking that you only discovered blockchain in the last month or so.
Yes, I told my wife it's been on the day. It's been one month. I've been on doing the whole blockchain. I still don't understand half of the words, and my whole Twitter now is like it's a different language. Barely half of the words I just don't know what they mean, and like it's a lot. But it all started like Nifty Gateway reached out to me and told me if I want to do a drop. Like I barely use that word as well, but now you're dropping everything. So, and I said, yeah, let's do it. And then it actually sold out in a few minutes. I put up 3 of the kind of exploding heads there, and it was a kind of felt like a successful start. And I thought, let's continue down this road. And
so you understand the term now NFT, that you're creating non-fungible tokens.
I understand the word and understand the overall concept of it, but yeah.
It hurts the head a bit, I'd say, does it?
It definitely hurts the head a little bit. So who's where?
And then now your next venture, which I know you also have these amazing shapes too, and some of them are gross. I know I've used that word. I promised myself I wouldn't. And some of them are just like addictive again. They're just interesting shapes, and what they're doing is really interesting. But now you're moving on to a project on the Pixia site. And it's more artistic, isn't it? Tell me a bit about the series of sculptures.
It's a different one, and that sculpture that series has been in the making for a long time. Like I actually had them in a museum in Mexico, which also.
You'd made them previously. Okay,
yeah,
and are they animated? Are they still?
No, they're static, and so I had them first. They existed on prints. On canvas prints.
And did you paint them, or did you use computers to draw them?
The same thing. It's on computers.
Okay.
So it's also another, like I wanted to solve like certain like problems in 3D, and like how much it's all particle based. So it's like millions and millions and millions of particles, and they all represented like little spheres. And then I basically I'm using nature as the starting point. So I made this algorithm that feeding in kind of aerial photography of the world, and then that driving how the algorithm pushes the particles around. And I do that on a multiple layer system. So it becomes this kind of infinite complexity to the sculptures. And I think that creates this kind of, it creates a feel that it looks like as if they're moving, but they are actually a static, but they have this kind of very organic feel to them. And I think that drives from, the color scheme is very much from nature, since it's aerial photography. And then the move is driven by those nature, like the information from each pixel, and they decide the color and the size of each of the spheres. So that's the first time we're doing, it's a series of 21 artworks. They're going to go live on Pixia's website soon.
Wow. Soon. I'll let people know when it's going live too. And so tell me again, you had a physical exhibition of them. Where was that?
It was in Guadalajara, Mexico.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
What was
yeah.
the
It was
connection
also
there?
quite. Yeah, it was also a little like It was an art curator reached out for me from Mexico City and said he was doing an exhibition about abstract art, and he's seen these sculpt. They first lived on social media on my Instagram, and Adobe and a few other companies kind of started retweeting about them, and then that snowballed, and then he found out via a tweet from Adobe, and then he reached out and wanted to do this exhibition, and I said let's go for it. So
That's amazing. And who organized all the printing? Was that because you're obviously in the art industry, so you were able to
it
do
was
that?
actually done in Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot cheaper than printing them in America. So, and they were
Yes.
printed really big. I think it was 44 inches times 56 inches, I
Wow.
think. So it was like massive canvas prints on a wooden frame. So it was
And
very impressive.
what's happened to those? Were they sold at the end of the exhibition, or are they?
No, some have been sold, and then we have a few here, and we still have a few hanging around here. So
Wow. And did you attend the exhibition? Did you go to Mexico?
I did not attend the exhibition.
Okay. So these 21 sculptors, they're going to go live on Pixius. How did you meet Pixius? What was the connection? Did they reach out to you, or did you reach out to them?
The same thing there. That they reached out to me via
Wow.
some social network, and then
So you're a very much sought after man, a very much sought after artist, Jon.
yeah, it looks like it.
It's amazing. Do you think you'll be able to give up the day job and do art full time, or would you want to perhaps?
I'm not. The thing is, I like the mix. I'm not like, I still like directing commercials and stuff. It's not like, but like, let's see where to go. I'm open for anything, right? I feel like it's a very nice. The nice thing about the whole art scene in the blockchain is like you can be anywhere. I'm not locked to being in New York anymore. Like I can do this anywhere, which is like a very nice freedom to have, a nice kind of fallback to be able to rely on. But at the moment, I'm still very much in the advertising world as well.
Yeah, I think because what you're doing is very creative as well in the advertising world. So it's not as though your day job is, an accountant perhaps. So
Exactly. No, it's very, they bleed together. A lot of things I do, like on my art side, is stuff that I'm also doing on the advertising side. And like I said before, my whole social media presence started with as a showcase to drive in more advertising work. So, and I think that's what we're still doing, but now it bleeds into both ways. So, which is nice. They work hand in hand at the moment,
So if people want to find your art, the Instagram is probably the best place to go. And it's
Instagram
your name.
and TikTok, and it's the
TikTok,
same.
of course, yes.
Yeah, it's the same handle as Jon Noorlander, just written together. It's like one long word.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It is a delight to speak with the man, to meet the man who produced those exploding heads that have been going ever since.
Yeah, more to come.
Well, I look forward to seeing what more comes, and I look forward to seeing when you're live on Pixius too as well. That would be amazing. Thank you very much indeed for your time today.
Thank you.